you're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen, and I'm Elisa. I'm going to start with this mystical shaman oracle. Lately, I've been doing a little bit of pre-shuffling on a couple of the decks just to try and get the videos to be a more reasonable length, but I'm still shuffling the mystical shaman oracle. If you're new to the channel, thanks for checking it out. I actually am doing this, it's more for fun, so I don't like do readings, private readings or anything like that, but I'm actually a vegan cheesemaker and I'm trying to go back to work, so it's cool that there's been some new subscribers lately. I think like I actually got over 100 subscribers this week, so that's a pretty big milestone. I think, you know, this channel is pretty off the radar, so it's cool. Thanks for checking it out. I don't arrange the readings here according to date or zodiac sign. They're arranged more according to storyline, so I'll link relevant videos of other readings within up here. And then I also have them arranged in playlists, which you can check out down below. And basically just arranged according to how, you know, the story that's coming through on that reading. So right now, today, while I'm doing this, I'm doing a reading for the month of December. And today is actually the full moon eclipse. So it's also the beginning of eclipse season, which is, you know, pretty high drama. And up until the 14th of December, we're going to have eclipse season. So, you know, expect fireworks. And the reading for the full moon eclipse was actually really dramatic. So, there's that. This reading looks like it's going to be pretty dramatic too. But the reading for the month of November was all about breaking free from this oppressive situation. And there was a lot of drama in November too. And there was like sort of like these dueling realities, and like the truth was sort of exposed on one, which was sort of like based on maybe a lie or a deception, or just, you know, not being honest with yourself. And the truth was kind of revealed on that sort of at the end of the month, or like around the eclipse. And so that is kind of wreaking all kinds of havoc. And, you know, just starting looking at the cards for the month, it's just like, yeah, like it looks like there's gonna have to be some like pushing through of like some major conflicts this month, but we'll get to it. So at the bottom of this mystical shaman, we got completion. So this is like the end of one era of life and the beginning of a new, and like stepping into this new era. And it's interesting because I also pre-shuffled the cards from the Radiant Wise Spirit, and I got the World, which is kind of very similar. It's very similarly themed. So for sure, we're like stepping into a new era. And like when I put this down, like this, the card underneath it kind of shone through, and it's like the Six of Pentacles. So it's like things are coming into balance. I mean, clearly, you know, based on last month's reading, like things were not in balance, and there was this oppressive situation, but like things are starting to equilibrate, we'll say. But when I, you know, looked at the cards, I got the Luminous Warrior, the Beloved, the Time Master, the Gatherer, and the Eagle. So this is an interesting message that I'm getting from this. I mean, the Luminous Warrior is someone who is kind of like done a lot of work on themselves and has come into this place of command of their emotions. And so this person has like no enemies, because they don't put, you know, bad vibes out into the world, and bad vibes don't come back to them, you know, like they're coming from a place of balance and flow, and what they need comes to them, and in the moment that they need it, and they're just sort of like, you know, a peaceful warrior as they walk through the world, you know. So we have this character who's obviously going through some completion. And then we have the beloved. So this speaks to like a relationship, you know, like a transformation that's happening with a relationship. Because the next card we get is the Time Master. I mean, this can speak to a love relationship, but it could be any relationship. It could be someone in your family or someone that you have a close soul bond to, or this person has a close soul bond to. But we have the Time Master. So the Time Master speaks to like recurring cycles that happen in your life, you know. And so it's like inviting you to not look at time as like this linear thing, you know, A plus B equals C, where we go in the straight line. Because when you look at your life, you'll see that there's like these cycles. I mean, these two cards speak to these cycles, you know. And we find, you know, based on what energy we're reflecting into the world, we might invite like sort of these certain recurring situations in our life. And even when you change your circumstance or the people around you, if the energy within you has not shifted, you're going to sort of invite the same situation upon yourself, even if your outer world has changed, you know. And so this kind of speaks to an awareness that comes, like an internal awareness of just like seeing time as like cyclical, and having this awareness of your own part in that cycle, and being able to be empowered by shifting that awareness. That was my mom that just came in, interrupting this cycle. So anyways, once you come into this awareness, you empower yourself to step out of that cycle, you know. So it's like if there's this pattern that's recurring in your life over and over again, and you want to break that pattern, like you have to come into some awareness within yourself about how you might be collaborating with that, you know. And so by bringing that into your awareness, you empower yourself from this cycle, you know, and you actually move forward in time, you know, or in your evolution of your life. You become the luminous warrior because you've become the master of your emotions. So I mean, these cards being right next to each other as they are, I think speaks to an entanglement as far as a relationship with like this recurring cycle. And like maybe someone in your family or someone you're in a relationship with where there's this recurring pattern, and it's like you want to shift this pattern, you know. And but these cards flanking this, I think, speak to someone coming into an awareness and like finally completing this cycle and changing the pattern, you know. And then, you know, in doing that, they become the gatherer. So this person is in a state of flow and abundance, and knowing that what they need is going to come to them when they need it. And that's that faith, you know, is part of it. But you know, this is the outcome of this awareness, is like being able to like walk through life from this place of peace, like knowing that what you need is going to be there for you when you need it, you know. And then we have the eagle, which I think speaks to like having like a bird's eye view or like big picture perspective on this whole thing. Because sometimes when you get locked into these patterns, your thinking can start to be really small, you know, and you can start to feel like really pinned in and like trapped, you know, or oppressed, which, you know, this is like this big theme of like breaking out of this oppression, you know. But like when you can take a larger perspective from like a higher vibration, you know, you might be able to see things differently. And that is what's going to empower you to evolve from this situationship. Okay, so then when I go to the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot, I get, well, it's interesting because I got the Queen of Swords followed by the King of Swords. So this is interesting because this is a matched pair. Like, this is a deep connection, you know. Not even necessarily a couple, but there's like a soul connection here. But this kind of speaks to like learning a hard lesson, you know. I mean, this queen is all about boundaries, and she like has learned from getting like run through the ringer that like she needs to be clear about what her boundaries are so that she doesn't just get like walked all over. And this king speaks specifically to like a harsh truth, you know. So it's just like there might be some sort of toxic relationship pattern here that is being worked out, you know. And it's like what's gonna be required to evolve from this situation is this person is going to need to draw clear boundaries and stick to them. And in doing so, there's going to be a harsh truth that's going to be revealed, you know, and that's what it's going to take to like shift the situation, you know. And then like downstream of that, we have the Five of Cups. So this is a card of disappointment, you know, and there's like these 3 cups lost, and it's really sad, you know. I mean, there's like a big loss here. But like this card is also just reminding you to like put your focus in the right place, because it's like if you focus on these actually 2 cups that are behind you, there's still this beautiful potential if you can actually shift your focus to like looking at things from a different perspective, you know. Like instead of engaging this maybe toxic pattern that's been happening over and over again, if you can actually learn the lesson and come into command of your emotions, you can like sort of graduate from this cycle and move on to a better way of like, you know, existing in the world, you know. And so that's followed by the Page of Pentacles, which is like it's like a tangible new start, you know. So like there's this new beginning on the horizon, and we can just start to see the inkling of it, you know. But we have the Five of Wands right after that. So there's going to have to be a lot of conflict that's going to have to be walked through in order to sort of push through to this new beginning. So like the cards speak to a lot of potential. I mean, this is really just clearing a lot of patterns that are kind of holding someone back from being their best self, you know. I mean, these patterns which have been oppressing this person, you know. And so we're moving towards a really positive outcome, but you know, there's going to be a lot of conflict that's going to have to be worked through to get there, because there's clearly some relationships that are going to have to go through some shifts, and that's not always an easy thing. So when I go to the Urban Tarot, at the bottom of the deck we get the Public Defender. And it's interesting because this was at the bottom of the deck in the full moon eclipse reading, the Beaver moon eclipse reading as well, which is right now while I'm reading this. So I think that's really interesting. I mean, it's an underlying energy, but this, you know, it speaks to like maybe there's like a crime or something bad that needs to change, you know. It needs to be addressed and needs to be confronted, you know. And that's kind of the source of whatever this conflict is that there's going to have to be a change in how we're engaging, you know. Okay, so when I go to the Urban, we got the 10 of Swords, Ruin. We got the 8 of Swords, Interference. We got the 6 of Cups, Pleasure. We got the Chariot. And we got the Emperor. So, I mean, this speaks to, obviously, there's some real pain at the beginning of this, you know, like, clearly. And there's, like, a lot of fear and anxiety, but this is, like, being released, you know. I mean, we're going to have to let go of this to move through to the new, you know, the new era. But it's not going to be easy. I mean, that's the thing. Like, these fell right under the King and Queen of Swords. So it's just sort of like, this is going to clearly be painful. And that's why there's, like, a hesitation to, like, move through it, you know. But on the other side of it, we have the 6 of Cups. So this can speak to, like, a deep soulmate connection or a reunion, maybe even from someone from the past. But it's also, in this deck, it's pleasure. So it's good, but we're going to have to move through some real icky stuff to get there. And that's kind of the problem, you know. But we got the Chariot, which is, like, seizing the reins and, like, stepping into empowerment. You know, this is the Emperor, which is, like, beautiful. This reminds me of someone specific, because it's just like a business person, you know. And, like, I'm trying to get my business back online, and so I've been engaging people in the business community, so it's just sort of like okay, so on the next row we have the Prince of Wands, the Journalist. We have the Queen of Discs, the Matriarch. We have Success, the Six of Pentacles. We have the 3 of Pentacles, and we have Art. So, I mean, this card is right under Ruin. And to me, what this speaks to, like, exposure. Like, this journalist is maybe, like, shedding light or is revealing this harsh truth, which is leading to this sort of, like, really painful situation, you know. But, like, it's like the boil has to be lanced, you know. And so this guy, that's what this guy's doing, you know. And then we have, like, the 8 of Swords. So there's, like, a lot of interference to moving forward for this Queen of Pentacles. I feel like this Queen of Pentacles has been coming up in readings a lot. But, like, you know, this is a loving, nurturing queen. In this deck, it's the Matriarch, you know. And so this character is experiencing a lot of interference, you know, from whatever this oppressive situation is. But there's light that's being shed on that. And that's leading to, we got 2 6s, the 6 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles. So pleasure and success, you know. So it's like, it's painful, but, like, the exposure of the sort of wrongness of the situation is, like, paving the way for a more positive outcome, you know. And so we're seizing the reins and we're building a new foundation, which this was also really relevant in the full moon reading, but also in the new moon and Libra reading. So I'll link that new moon reading here because it might be relevant. But we're seizing the reins and we're building a new foundation, and we're, like, empowering ourselves. But then we also have the Temperance card, which in this deck is Art. So, you know, this speaks to, like, being in the state of flow and balance and being able to alchemize outcomes, you know, like, because we've released ourselves from this impression, and we're now able to come into the state of this luminous warrior who can walk through the world and have the faith that they know that what they need is going to come to them when they need it. So it's like this profound healing that's happening for this month, but it's just sort of like, might have to move through a really hard situation, maybe even a criminal situation, in order to release yourself from whatever it is that's been holding you back. So it looks like overall, it's like the message I'm really getting is like, keep your eye on the prize, because this month is going to be really tough, but you're working towards something really positive. So you gotta like stay focused on that, because, and don't get bogged down in these 3 cups that are lost, because for sure it's not going to be easy. And you know, it might be hard to like keep perspective, because this is a pattern that's maybe been recurring for your whole life, you know. And so your like comfort zone is to like fall into this pattern again, but like, you don't want to do that. Like, it's time to like look at it and respond differently, so that we can sort of like graduate from the outcomes that we've been like cycling in, you know. Like, we want to move forward towards being empowered and towards our destiny. Okay, so we got 3 cards that just flipped out, so I'll take these. So we got Inner Earth. You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. So like I said, this is going to be a tough month, but just keep your eye on the prize. You're going to survive. It's not going to be easy. Just know that. But you've got this, you know. Know that. You're getting that message. All paths lead home. All paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. So again, you know, it's like the time master. It's like at the root of all of this is like a healing that has to happen with your energy, so that you are not engaging the same pattern again. So by shedding light on that within yourself is how you're going to like move beyond it. So don't just react, you know. Like, take the time and allow for healing to happen, so that you can move through to a better outcome, you know. And then we have Star Ancestors, hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look a little deeper. So I think that really kind of confirms what I just said, you know. Like, the world is really a reflection of your own internal energy, you know. And so if we want to have a different experience in it, we have to heal our own energy, and that's the bottom line. And that takes work, you know, and that takes self-awareness. And it's like it's not easy, you know, but like, that is where your power lies. And the opportunity here is to engage that power and to move into a new outcome. And so it's really easy to get distracted by the drama in the life around you, but that's not actually where the real solution lies. It really ultimately lies in your own self-awareness. And so that's, I think, where it's really easy to get tripped up, you know. So if you're feeling kind of stuck and you're feeling overwhelmed, like, it's okay to just take a moment, give yourself that moment, and just allow things to evolve, and just, you know, take this moment for yourself and just examine how you might evolve from your own internal patterning. I mean, that's really where you need to focus your energy, like, not on all the drama that's going on around you. It's internal. It's like your relationship with God or the universe, or, you know, however you want to look at that, is where that's where your power lies. So stay focused on that. And it's going to be tough, but you got this. And hopefully we'll move into 2021 having learned some really big lessons and ready for a new beginning. Okay, see you next. Well, I mean, I'll be giving readings before then, but happy December.